Now's your chance. Seriously.
Howdy, partners! It's your old buddy Biz here with what I reckon to be another Division 2 gunslinging video. Oh, God. Sorry there. I was getting into character a little too much for this installment. After the success of the Dark Hours raid guide, and more specifically the What to Do with Eagle Bearer video, I thought I'd go in depth with some more of these raid locked items. Today, we're going to take a look at the quest locked revolver that you shouldn't sleep on, the Regulus. As always, thanks for stopping in and checking out my little corner of YouTube. You guys eating up this content and engaging is what keeps me going. If you haven't already, please subscribe and turn on bell notifications to stay in the loop on all things biz. We're super close to 100 subscribers. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it'd be awesome to hit that from this video. With all that said, let's get into it. So buried deep in the Iron Horse raid lies the quests to the Regulus. Players will need to unlock this by completing the Iron Horse raid for the first time. Once the quests are unlocked, a loot scavenger hunt will begin, as you'll need to donate one of each piece of the Foundry, Bulwark, and Future Initiative gear sets, a bunch of Foundry and Future Initiative components, and some other gear. Once those quests are wrapped up, you'll need a second fresh Iron Horse clear from start to finish to collect all the Regulus components. Once the pieces have been collected, you'll have the blueprint to make it. Now get to crafting so we can see what this revolver can do. So as this is built on the Magnum platform, we see the Regulus in the high damage, low rate of fire archetype for pistols. This hand cannon is rolled to pistol damage and headshot damage by default. The talent on this gun is called Regicide, in which headshot kills create a 5-meter explosion, dealing the bleed status effect and 400% weapon damage to those caught in its path. I mean, heavy lies the head that wears the crown, I suppose. In a way, this gun is similar to the Eagle Bearer, in that you get huge bonuses for landing those headshots. The difference being that where the Eagle Bearer will protect you when you get a headshot kill, Regulus will clear a room very efficiently. Now we're just getting started here, and as this weapon will really thrive in that Skull Hunter environment, we're going to build accordingly. To start, this build is set up on a firewall specialization. I like this for a couple reasons for this build. One being the amplified damage from the Striker Shield. Also, the way the armor kit will overheal you over time is very nice. If you use this spec right, you can pop an armor kit before you rush up to the front lines and have a ton of incoming healing, more than enough to get the job done up close. For this setup, we're going to subscribe to the idea that the best offense, is a good offense. As you'll see, we're rolled all the way red in both our cores and our attributes. We're running a mix of named pieces that we're going to get into in a bit. We're also going for big chunks of damage, and the best ways to do that will be to sew in that amplified damage. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with additive versus multiplicative damage, I'm going to link a video in the description done by the Abrax regarding it. He goes over the formula and the difference between the two very well. To sum up, if you don't feel like clicking, additive damage, like headshot, critical hit damage, or weapon damage, get their percentages added up before being multiplied against base damage. Multiplicative damage, like amplified damage, damage to health, armor, or targets out of cover, are multiplied on their own against the base damage. Now that we got that fancy math out of the way, let's take a look at what we're using to get this build working. To start, the guns I chose to run in support of the Regulus were my CTAR 21 with Ranger and a classic M1A with Boomerang. I wanted to still build around these guns being useful in dealing damage. As we'll get to further along, the Regulus will need some time to charge. That may sound weird, but it's going to make total sense in just a minute. Gear-wise, starting at the mask, we have a named Douglas and Harding mask, the Punch Drunk. This mask comes with 20% additive pistol damage from the gear talent and 20% additive headshot damage as an attribute. As you can see, we added a 10% headshot damage mod, allowing this mask to give us 30% headshot damage. Moving into the chest, we see another named gear piece in the Sacrifice. This Providence chest armor comes with perfect glass cannon, which we went over in a previous video. Again, you'll see 30% amplified damage with enemy fire to you being amplified by 60%. Obviously, with that much damage incoming, the major key to this build, don't get hit. For the holster, we dusted off our Dodge City holster. This is another exotic you get from a quest, and it's the peanut butter to the Regulus's jelly here. This holster will stack a buff every 0.3 seconds your pistol is holstered, up to 100 stacks. When you swap to the pistol, the first shot will consume the buff and deal 10% additive damage per stack. So basically, if you wait 30 seconds, the bullet coming from your Regulus will deal 1000% extra damage. And that's not including any other damage math. Yikes. Getting into the backpack, we see our second Providence piece, which gives us buffs to headshot and critical hit chance. I put another headshot damage mod, bringing the count to 164% headshot damage. We also get Vigilance, which will grant 25% additive damage when not getting hit. One more time for the people that didn't hear it a few seconds ago. Don't get hit! For gloves, we went with another named piece in the Contractor gloves. Now, while we don't get anything from the LMG weapon damage bonus, we do gain 8% amplified damage to armor. This will come in handy on busting some of those yellow bar elite enemies. Finally, at knee pads, it's your weekly reminder that Fox's Prayer are the best piece of gear in the game. I mean, I don't know what else to say that hasn't been said here, so I'm just going to open up a crisp can of Liquid Death and roll the tape. So with all the gear covered, when all bonuses are active, we're seeing a base of 682,332 damage. Wow. When you take in the additive headshot damage of 218%, the additive gunslinger damage at 1,000%, the additive from Vigilance, the multiplicative damage to armor and targets out of cover,
those two,
and the amplified damage from glass cannon,
whole lot.
You land around 19 to 20 million damage on a headshot.
Oh my god!
We're still not done stacking, though. As we want to get the most from this build, we need some skills to squeeze even more damage out of our tiny revolver. Here we see the Striker Shield we talked about earlier. This is going to give us more damage based on how many enemies are in proximity to the shield's Cone of Death. When we add that in, we get to about 23 to 24 million with one enemy in front of the shield. I mean, really, 23 million should be all we need, right?
Wrong. Dead wrong. Just wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Okay, geez. We've got one more skill slot, and we're going to use something I've never found a good use for until this build. We're going to go Achilles Pulse. So this skill will paint a target and mark a weak point, allowing headshot damage to be dealt wherever the pulse targeted. This amplifies our body shots from a paltry 6 million to about 19 million. And headshots? Well, headshots, when everything is clicking, are landing around 63 million damage. Yeah, and that's just on the ad that got shot. If that's a headshot kill, the nearby enemies get explosive damage from Regicide, and that is another 22 to 23 million damage to each one within 5 meters. That's just... I mean, I have no words for the amount of damage. I'm shocked I haven't made this build sooner. Obviously, this setup, in theory, is a wild damage dealer. Playing it in the field, you may not see the exact results, but it will still do work, even if you don't line up the perfect shot. The only advice I have is what I said prior. Avoid getting hit. Avoid it like the plague. If you're having a hard time doing that, though, have some of your group run a heal build, or play a little more from range. No shame in that. Either way, that will wrap things up here. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. These past few builds have been a little out of my playstyle and comfort zone, but it's been really nice to try something new. Again, if you like what you see, please like and subscribe, as we're getting so close to that 100 sub mark. And your click could really help that. I'll catch y'all next week, though, for the start of a new series that you won't want to miss. Biz out.